How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Ohio, the legendary tier American battleship. In this one, kind of more of the same of the Ohio matches that we've kind of been posting kind of frequently, maybe not really that frequently, but just because we play the ship a little too much compared to everything else as we kind of potato and sail in a straight line. And well, I guess I technically did try to slow down and juke, but not having running with scissors in this build and instead just going with fight fire with fire, uh, well, you weren't able to turn away nearly as quickly. So we get touched a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Ohio, using Optimus Prime, we have 5 heals, 40-second cooldown. Well, actually, it's technically more like 36, but you get the idea. We're still able to sustain fairly well. Just now we're just gonna have 73,000 hit points to do that with while we try to kind of push in on the flank. This map I really do not like. I don't know why. It just feels so small for legendary tier, especially on both flanks where there's basically an island. And then if you decide to go around the island on the flank, just look at where we are. We're basically on the border already. And funnily, whenever you play with the, I guess, technically shrunken versions of this map, the island that's currently in front of us out of bounds, you can actually go to and go around. So I feel like it should have been included as part of this map, but for whatever reason, they just didn't do that. Enemy Gdansk charging in, trying to get rid of our Shimakaze. But us pushing in, we're going to be a problem for the Gdansk. There's not a whole lot that he can do. He could technically turn away and go closer to our Shima, but he decides to turn away and avoid the 3 other ships that he could technically be pushing towards if he did decide to run that way. Our secondaries are basically going to finish off Gdansk here because, well, he's on fire and getting hit. But just kidding, Shima shoots him when he's on a sliver of HP just to yoink the kill. Kind of unfortunate, it is what it is. Shima doesn't shoot until he knows he's going to yoink something. Would have been nice, because I think he is currently in smoke on the other side of the island if he was just actually shooting him the whole time from his smoke instead of, waiting for that last second to yoink it. Enemy Hayate also charging into a battleship, not really sure why, not the best option for a destroyer, especially one that has fairly good secondaries. Hayate just smokes up in front of us. I decided to load HE because we didn't really do much to him, and neither did our team. At this point, he's probably not going to be saturated, and we don't really have any stacks of our legendary plotting room to give us 5% more damage. AP would definitely be a little more consistent, but considering we haven't seen any torps yet, I am hoping that if anything, we are able to at least destroy a Torp 2 before we get nuked by the rest of his Torp salvo. But that's kind of just a hope. Enemy Preussen is behind the island. I'm not going to shoot at him because I'd rather not get spotted by smoke firing penalty. And as we push in, Hayate does get spotted because we do have a friendly ship also charging in. Our HE salvo does a good amount of damage. Our secondaries finish him off, and we do actually get a dev strike, which is pretty nice. Would have been really great to have 2 kills and 2 stacks of our legendary plotting room, but unfortunately, didn't happen that way. Enemy Ohio coming over this way. Enemy Preussen looks like he wants to push around the outside of the island, so I'm gonna have to be careful here because if I do push in closer to the Ohio, there might be a good chance that the Preussen comes around the corner of the island and we are in a crossfire. So we do need to kind of be aggressive here and try to use the island that Preussen is behind to kind of keep us safe from the Preussen popping up and, well, blapping us like he citadeled us at the start. Enemy Ohio is still pushing in. Our Shima being where he is. He's going to keep the Ohio spotted, and I'm going to assume at some point Ohio is going to try to gamer turn away because he knows there's a Shima. Enemy Gdansk and Hayate did try to fight our Shima, but obviously they failed. So Ohio, understanding that there is something there, probably doesn't want to push into a Shima and other ships in addition, so he's going to try to gamer turn. So I'm just going to be patient here and wait for the turn out as he starts turning. There are Shima Torps on the way. We fire a good salvo. We have 2 stacks of our plotting room. We don't have running with scissors, giving us worse dispersion. But unfortunately, as trolly as battleship accuracy is in this game, we don't get any citadels. But Ohio is basically dead. Shima torps this, the wall of skill, showing up right on his forehead, and he is basically dead. We don't really need to worry about him now, though. And, well, actually, I thought Shima was going to kill him. He didn't, so we just fire our main guns to finish him off. Enemy Preußen did not do what I thought he would do, which is push in to try and create a crossfire. Instead, Preußen tries to run away, as Preußens do, because it is a sniping battleship and not a brawling battleship. And unfortunately, Wargaming's design of Preußen, I absolutely hate. Would have been great if it was a ship that could push and basically just give a reason to buff GK a little more to make it a better ship to push with. Just extending the sonar or something, and maybe making the secondaries reach like 12 kilometers like Bismarck can. But unfortunately, Preußen wasn't the answer to give GK a better ability to brawl, especially since they basically killed Schlieffen. Germans don't really have fun brawling anymore, except Schroeder, just because Schroeder secondaries are so demented. Preußen just going to keep trying to run away. Our other flank not doing so well. They're kind of folding, and we are starting to take some fire from the other flank. So we kind of need to kill Preußen quickly so we can kind of turn around and start helping the other flank. Some of our teammates have decided to turn around and start facing the enemy already. So it would be good to finish off this Preußen so we could create a crossfire with them, and then try to catch all of their cruisers as they charge in towards sea. Enemy Preußen, 1 bar of HP. I mean, there's not a whole lot that he can do at this point. Having old GK saturation, honestly, is kind of just really bad, and why Preußen sucks at pushing now. And why people don't want to push, because they know they'll just lose like 20k in their superstructure. I mean, the whole design of Preußen, I could go on for a while about how poor it is, and why I don't like it. I mean, sure, the guns are accurate, but like it goes against everything that I think German battleships should be doing. Enemy Conch pushing in. He is kind of well ahead of the entire enemy team and all the cruisers that are behind him. And we are in a pretty good position here to create a crossfire. We just need to figure out what the Conch is going to do. He may start bow and reversing away from our ships that are at D, especially because we also have a Conch who looks like he wants to kite instead of push in. And if our Conch starts kiting, the enemy Conch probably will want to reverse away. Just pushing in towards C, because that's basically where the other cruisers are going to go. Enemy Minotaur shows up, and he actually has a radar. So he radars our Shimakaze. So we do need to do our best to try and help our Shima not just insta-die to the Minotaur, especially because Shima is providing spotting, kind of important. Unfortunately, our dispersion, well, per turret looked pretty good, but we don't land anything significant on the Minotaur. We see Shima torps showing up. Minotaur probably has sonar, and we'll be trying to dodge those torpedoes, although they look like they're whiffing pretty badly. Minotaur starts turning broadside to use all his guns on the Shima again, but dispersion and lead looks pretty good on this one, and we do in fact land a citadel. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the second one, which definitely would have finished him off. Having that one more stack of ledge plotting room definitely would have helped had we gotten the Gdansk. I think Minotaur definitely would have died. Being on a sliver of HP, Minotaur trying to duck for cover as best he can. He has 1 bar of HP, but he does pop a heal, and dispersion looks pretty good. I think we should have death struck him here, but we get a couple of overpens even though he was angled, and 1 pen. No citadels, unfortunately, and well, that's a little too bad. Minotaur gets away, but Shimakaze is able to survive, and he's going to go back cap at A. At this point, we're just going to push in because the last 2 cruisers are in the bottom left corner. Minotaur is on fire from the Conch, and not a whole lot that Minotaur can do at this point. Conch HE can technically citadel a Minotaur unless he's using Nelson with Big 7, but it seems like Minotaur is just going to burn down to the fire. Des Moines charging in, full HP, kind of flat broadside, hoping to get some good salvos in, but he decides to actually angle, so he does have hands, which is unfortunate. I was hoping to get a death strike here, especially because we are trying to go for a Kraken. We do have 3 kills. Would have been nice to have gotten the Minotaur to make it a little easier. Des Moines just charging in, I don't think he has any sort of plan to bow and reverse away. So we're just going to try to do our best to get this Des Moines. Although since he keeps angling and turning in, I try to hit his bow here to do some major citadel damage. But unfortunately, we're just not getting it. He is trying to dodge us, and instead of angling to the conch, he angles to us and, well, goes down to the conch instead. Aegir, also a full HP cruiser, now just charging in to try and do whatever he can. Unfortunately, Aegir, honestly not the best tier 8 large cruiser. Schroeder is significantly better. Aegir's whole idea of being a large cruiser that could brawl, basically only relying on torpedoes being your I guess major brawling point secondaries, are just so much more effective than trying to rely on torpedoes. That's just the reality of this game, because 6-kilometer torps, I mean, just aren't really good enough. Aegir starts turning out to go broadside and use his rear turrets. We try to lead to hit his citadel at the bow. We don't lead enough, but the second shot, perfect under the front turret, and we do in fact land a citadel. So unfortunately we couldn't get the Gdansk, Minotaur, or the Des Moines. So we are one shy of a Kraken, but still, pretty good match. Their DDs threw pretty hard, and obviously that gave us a lot of XP, 3,800. Would have been nice to have a Kraken to top this off, but yeah, too bad. It is what it is. Still a pretty good match though. There was a division on the other team, which I'm pretty sure was the Ohio Conch and Radar Minnow, and we were able to overcome that. Well, actually they weren't able to carry their 2 DDs that threw their ships away, more like. But yeah, pretty good match in Ohio, as we usually do. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. Ohio just does things, even though we ate the Citadel at the start and basically had like 20k less HP than we realistically should have. I mean, having the heals that we did, we really just weren't in any sort of trouble, which is the nice thing about Ohio. Still using Optimus Prime, secondary build. I don't know, I've kind of been going back and forth with running with scissors and fight fire with fire. I mean, like our salvo on the enemy Ohio, I feel like we should have gotten some citadels, but we didn't. And then that like makes me think, well, that 3% dispersion from running with scissors doesn't make a whole lot of difference. And then there's other times that it just does feel like running with scissors just makes you suffer. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more, and share with your friends, or leave a comment down below for other ships you want to see in the future. But anyway guys, till next time, aloha.